Hello and welcome to Series About Rugby League. Today we're going to have a look at the predictions for the weekend's Rugby League. 3 games on the telly, Hull and Wigan on Thursday. Huddersfield and Leeds is probably the game of the week. Bear in mind what's at stake on Friday. And Saturday, Warrington, who Challenge Cup final last week, they go to Catalan Dragons. We'll start with Hull against Wigan. Bit of controversy because Sky made Hull play Thursday after playing in the Challenge Cup last weekend. I could probably see the point. Huddersfield, Leeds would probably have been the fit, bear in mind. But for me, if they'd played Sunday in the Challenge Cup like I did last year, and this game was on Friday, I don't think anyone would be complaining. And the fact that it's Saturday to Thursday, it's the same time difference. So maybe they probably could have timed it a bit better, but I think that probably negates the advantage to Wigan. What about you, Ben?
So it's difficult, isn't it, for Hull? It's I wouldn't say it's a season-ending defeat to Warrington because they're still in the playoff places, but I'm struggling to see a way Hull will win the grand final. Yeah. And I think that will have hit them hard psychologically going into this game. But it could also work the other way. I think it could fire them up. And Wigan are obviously in decent form. They've risen up the table. There's a good mood around the club. Just signed Bevan French and George Burgess. So I think it will be close. But yeah, I fancy Wigan to go there and probably win by about 4 points.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because obviously there's a few games this week that are completely like evens on the handicap, which is like at this stage of the season slightly absurd. But,
crazy.
This is one of them, and it's because it could go either way, and it will be close. Obviously, I'm gonna back my home team. I'm gonna back Wigan just because I feel wrong if I don't. But I do think Wigan will just nick it, just edge it. I do think the feel good factor will be a massive issue. Maybe the cup hangover, the slight the loss, the sadness about the loss and not making it to the final might hit Hull hard for a couple of weeks. In terms of the day thing, I don't think it's a problem. I think these are professional athletes. End of the day, we're going to have had a full week off. So if you play on Thursday or Friday, we're going to still got that slight advantage anyway. I don't think it matters. And as you said last year, they played on the Sunday, then played on the Friday. So it's all the same as last year.
Yeah, I think Wigan are kind of a team that sometimes struggle with a week off. I think historically, I think someone might.
I think they've done well to do the business this weekend, whilst we're not doing anything else, because it gives the fans sort of something to brag about, even though we've not won a rugby game.
On Bevan French, by the way, do you think he'll play on Thursday? I think there's a few suggestions that he might do.
Adrian Lamb said that he would like to give him time to fit into the structure and let him get used. Obviously, he will only have had maybe one training session before the game. However, Joe Burgess is not officially fit, and he's been waiting till captain's run to be decided on. If that's the case, Bevan French obviously played on the wing a lot for Parramatta, and given that Davis, Manfred and Manfredi are out already, he might be the option to go on the wing if Joe Burgess.
Yeah, I think he could fit on the wing, couldn't he? Yeah.
That might be the option, but I don't think he'll play other than that. I think we'll wait out till next week.
So we're going to Wigan and
I think Wigan.
To Wigan, yeah. Well, actually, we're gonna need differences somewhere because again we're going to do a forfeit this week.
I don't think it'll take long for us to.
What we've decided, definitely not. What we've decided this week is that with Ben being a Leeds and Sean being Wigan is basically just going to swap next time. If Sean wins this, Ben will have to wear a Leeds shirt. Obviously, if Ben wins, Sean's going to have to wear the Wigan. Sorry,
Wigan shirt.
We'll change it. Wigan shirt that way, Leeds shirt that way. Well, based on who wins, and we're going on to Friday. Like I said before, this is the game of the week for me. It's 10th against 8th. It's only, Leeds obviously for Leeds are 10th, they're joint bottom of the league. Huddersfield and 8th are 2 points off the bottom. It's an incredible season, based mainly on how well London have been doing. But this again, the bookies can't split them. Let's see if the guys can. We'll start with you, Sean.
I feel like this is going to be a split. I think me and Ben being a Leeds fan and me working for Huddersfield, I feel like this is going to be a clear sort of divide here. I'm really looking forward to this game. As you said, I think it is the game of the weekend by a long stretch as well.
Yeah.
Probably the most important derby since 2015's League Leaders Shield decider, and probably even more important given the financial
probably more at stake. Yeah,
there's a lot more at stake if either of these teams lose and end up going down. I will back Huddersfield. It's the first game I've been to since I worked for Huddersfield when we were playing against Wigan, and I reckon Huddersfield should win this game. I'm going to say really, really slowly and reluctantly, but I think Huddersfield have got the quality to win this game, especially with an expected bigger home crowd. I think it might boost the players a little bit more.
I mean, the last time we did the predictions, I mean, it was Wakefield v Leeds, and my head was saying Wakefield, but my heart was saying obviously Leeds, and I went with my heart in the end, and it worked. And I've got a similar feeling this time. Huddersfield obviously got a good win last time they played against Hull KR, and Leeds were just edged out by Hull. Yeah, there's a lot of worry obviously around both clubs, the risk of relegation, and particularly at Leeds, it's a really important game, and Leeds have still, after this, have still got to play Warrington and St Helens. There's not many games left now, so it is getting to almost must-win territory with Hull KR and London, the only two teams below them. We'll get onto those games, but they've got winnable games, so yeah, I think I'll go for Leeds. Golden point.
More of a must, isn't it? It's a massive. I mean, it's a tremendous game on Friday night to watch on it. I think we'll all be glued on Friday night. The second game on Friday, I'm kind of hoping this is where we might get a handicap split for the tie. You know,
right,
I'd imagine we might. Well, you never know with Sean. He sometimes pulls some out the hat. But St Helens against Wakefield. I mean, obviously, I think Saints will be a bit battered and bruised by Halifax. They got a real... I mean, Halifax were flying into some of them tackles at the weekend. Did really well to keep Saints down to just 4 tries. I think there'll be a few Super League coaches ringing up the offices at Halifax and asking them just how they managed to do it. But I'll go with you again, Ben, this time at St Helens Wakefield.
Well, I think I just said it. The teams... Yeah, the bottom 3 have all got very winnable games this weekend, and to say they were to win those games, Wakefield will be joint bottom, and to go into St Helens is always going to be difficult, no matter who St Helens have played previously. There, and I think there'll be a bit of motivation because, as we know now, Justin Holbrook likes resting players, and I think there'll be a motivation from him to his players to say, right, let's tie up the League Leaders Shield, let's get that piece of silverware over the line, and then can potentially rest players for the last 2, 3, maybe 4 games, and yeah, I can see St Helens going full strength, and I can see them maybe not putting on a huge score, but I think they'll win comfortably.
And handicap's 20, you think?
I think that's probably about right. I'm going to say St Helens by 18, so I'd probably just go with Wakefield maybe on the handicap.
I think it's a bit harsh, the handicap. I think obviously people come out of the Challenge Cup and there's always a hangover. That's just how it is, especially when you've made it to the final, because unlike where maybe in football you'll see a lot of managers come out saying, oh, we're not drinking tonight, we've got this to focus on. St Helens have gone out and they've enjoyed themselves, they've made it to Wembley, and that's the way Rugby League's run, and there will be that hangover, and it won't be as bad as previous years. And I think what St Helens have got this year, which they've not had before, is the motivation, in that obviously last year they won the League Leaders Shield, they lost the semi-final, then they lost the second semi-final. That motivation to go one step further in every single aspect of the game, and I feel like Wakefield are gonna unfortunately for them hit that rut where St Helens are like, we're not losing this game, because we don't want to prove everybody else right. We want to prove ourselves right, that we're going to come from the Challenge Cup and we're going straight into winning the league. So I think St Helens will do this. I don't think it'll be as big as 20, maybe 10, but they'll come out and they'll be dominant.
And we're making his own handicap there then. I said by 18, so
I reckon we can look further down the line for a handicap.
Yeah, okay. I think that's okay. So we're going to go for Saints, but the handicap's 20, so I think we think that. I personally think that Saints will probably put 30 or 40 on them, but we'll see. But the guys are both going for St Helens.
You in on this forfeit?
No, definitely. I've already.
So if we tie, then Saints leave by less than 20.
Down to me. And, I've already had Blake Austin, so I've done my bit. It's the next game Saturday. Saturday tea time. Catalan Warrington. Warrington again made the Challenge Cup final last weekend. A really good game against Hull. Was in the balance till pretty well. It was the last kick, wasn't it? When first Philbin went over the line, didn't he? So again, bookies can't split them. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, it's a weird one. This obviously Wigan Hull couldn't be split. Huddersfield Leeds can't be split, and now Catalans Warrington. I can sort of understand this. Maybe Catalans not in the fight they were in at the start of the season, but Catalans obviously have already beat Warrington at home this season, so that's a massive swing in their favour for the confidence side. Warrington playing a lot better, obviously similar to Saints, coming off that Challenge Cup hangover, but that little bit of extra motivation after hitting Wembley. And maybe, obviously, going into the 3 or 4 weeks before the final, you want to hit top form. So this isn't the time to take your foot off the pedal. This is the time to go straight into the next game and win comfortably. I don't think that Warrington will accept going to Catalans twice in 1 year and losing both games. I'm gonna say it's gonna be close again, like the bookies set. I think Warrington will nick it by maybe 4.
Well, yeah, doing these predictions all season, I think a lot of teams have been inconsistent, but particularly Catalans and Salford, they just, especially when there's a forfeit at stake, it just messes with your head because you don't have a clue which team's going to turn up. And I think the last time I did the predictions against you, Paul, and I backed Catalans against Hull FC, and I think Hull won by 51. And I just
twice their Hull this year.
Yeah, and I just thought, well, which Catalan's going to turn up? And I don't know. I think they may have had a bit of a team meeting or something in this break. Catalans, Steve McNamara's probably got his players down and says, right, we need to focus now. We need to get into those playoff places, and we can be the dark horses for this competition. So I think we might see a different Catalans. So I'll go with the Dragons, but I'm not massively confident with it because at the same time Warrington have shown twice against Salford this season that they can quite easily not turn up, and these predictions have just been difficult all year, and this is another one which just I'm really not sure on, but I'm just going to go with Catalans because they're at home, they've had a bit of a break, and I think they really need to start hitting some form if they're to get into the playoffs and then do anything in the playoffs.
It's a tough place to go in, especially in the summer.
It's always a tough place to go, but I do think Warrington.
The heat's always a factor this time of year as well down there.
Yeah.
Okay, so again we have a nice split there. On to Sunday, Hull KR Castleford. Hull KR again marooned second from bottom, but level on points for London at the bottom. Castleford in 5th place on points difference from the Cat. They might well be 6th by then if the Dragons win. To be honest with you, they've also got Salford breathing down the necks as well. So Hull KR Castleford, Ben.
Well, I think going with my logic of Catalans beating Warrington, obviously, like you said, put Castleford down to 6, and I think that'll motivate them. Obviously, I need no motivation there in this dogfight, and they will have been disappointed at home to Huddersfield in the last game, but I think they've lost. I think Harvey Levett was a big loss. I think he was terrific while he was on loan there, and I think that kind of knocked him for 6 before that game. And Castleford have slowly but surely been getting a little bit better. They beat Warrington, didn't they, at home recently? So I'll go with Castleford just, I think. A little about 8 points.
I'm in agreement in term. I think Castleford, for me, Hooky are sort of resilient at times, but then at other times completely fall off the handle, and I think this might be one of those games that this fall off the handle. I think Castleford are going to come into it, like you said, I don't think they need extra motivation to keep that top 5 space. They'll be looking at it, no matter what happens in the Catalans game, they'll be thinking, we need 2 points here to either break the gap or to get themselves back into the 5th spot, and I feel like it'll be a comfortable win for the Castleford Tigers. I think 10 points plus will be a comfortable win for the Tigers, and I think Hull KR, this is where Hull KR are going to start struggling. I think London have made signings to really try and boost the season. Leeds have done the same. I think Hull KR are at a stagnant stage where they've not really adapted the squad, and I think they'll start to struggle because of it. I
think just quick mention Levett. I think as a group we've got no problem the way Warrington handled that, bringing the two players back from Hull with late notice. I think as Tony Smith said, that their players can do what they want. Anyone, are you all both happy with that? Or
I think it's completely fine. At the end of the day, if they want to bring them back for whatever reason, even if they believe that they're going to get better training at just first team training at Warrington, they're going to get a game time, then that's their decision to make.
I think if you're looking at it from an outsider point of view, then it's fine. But I think OKR fans, especially with such late notice, I think there's a certain amount. I don't see anything wrong with it from Warrington. It's their play; they can do what they want when they want. But I just think perhaps you know, they must have known earlier on that they were going to recall him. So to do it at such a late stage with Falkirk played...
I do think there's a sense of this season where a lot of people are trying to find the corruption in the relegation.
Yeah.
I don't think that's always the case. I just think this is just a case of Warrington needed the players to fill up a 19-man squad, and they decided that was the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be brutally honest. If the RFL didn't want to relegate Leeds, they wouldn't be sat on 16 points now, would they? Let's be. I mean, you know, it's crazy. And final game, and what a chance again. We keep mentioning how well London are doing. They're at home. Salford have had some tremendous wins, but they've also had some really poor losses.
Yeah.
This is a banana skin amongst all banana skins for Salford. I don't think anyone's really going to want to go down to London at the moment.
No.
What about you, Ben?
We see. I've pinpointed London here because this is a massive game for them, and the signing that they've made this week, Brock Lamb, he is a terrific player. He's going to add something to them, and they've shown that they are, like we didn't know already, they are serious about staying up, and they are going to go for this now, and they've made a couple of signings. I've just kind of changed my mind at the last minute. I just feel like on the 3G pitch on there, I can see Jackson Hastings really thriving, and I think Tuilola he has gone in there, and he's perhaps where he struggled at Leeds. It's been a new lease of life for him, and I think he's linking up well, and I think it's going to be another really close game. And like you said earlier, it's just there's so many even games. Yeah, I think London will have the bigger motivation, but I think Salford will just have the better quality and probably just get over the line.
Okay, I disagree. I think you've done that just to put pressure on me in London again. I'm going to back you again, London. You've always got my support. No, I think I do. I think London are 2-1 to win this outright, and I think that's the bargain of the season.
8-1 on the handicap, which is just unbelievable.
Just
like, like this
at home against a Salford side that have been inconsistent at times, that have lost one of the key players in Robert Louis, and London have just made one of the signings of the season in Brock Lamb. I think this is it's all there for London to. It's all written in the stars for London to attack this and to push themselves away from that pack at the bottom. I really do think that London. If London aren't going to go away and win this game, I think that might spell the end for London in the Super League. I think it is that serious. This is the turning point for London, and I think I genuinely believe that they've got it. That in the past I might have backed London on a whim. This time I genuinely believe that London have got this.
Interesting.
Well, it looks like we've got 3 different matches there, so there won't be any need to think about what we're going to do for the tie break. It's been really good today. I think there's some tremendous matchups. If you could put teams together, you want a good, exciting weekend coming up on the Challenge Cup. I think you go pretty close to this. Some tremendous matchups this weekend.
And I think we talk about wanting like every game on TV.
Yeah. This is the weekend. This is the weekend.
I've wrote articles about that. And it's just I've got there isn't a game there you wouldn't want to watch.
Even like honestly, obviously to get it on terrestrial TV is a bit difficult for us, but to have the 3 on Sky that are on Sky, and then have St Helens Wakefield on our league, 1 on BBC, just have it on across the channels and be able to watch all these 6 games live would be absolutely immense.
Well, I've mentioned this before, and for me, what we should be doing to the BBC. I mean, you could say St Helens against Wakefield probably is the least attractive game of the lot, but that could go on the red button. They have the red button; it just goes straight on there, and
those 2 Sunday games.
We need.
Immense.
I think Huddersfield against Leeds, what a fit that would be on BBC One on Friday night. I think there's nothing else on BBC One Friday night, I wouldn't imagine. I think, I've probably bored people with this, but for me, we should be giving the BBC a few quid, saying, listen, you don't give us any money, we'll give you a few quid. Put that on BBC One on Friday night.
That's a completely different debate.
But Sean started it, so I agree totally. That all we could see all but I'm sure we'll have this debate.
This is probably going to be the weekend of the season. This is going to
it's tremendous. I mean at the top we can win with 2 points of Hull if they win, and Warrington Hull actually go level with Warrington if they win, and then Warrington have to go to Catalans to go back in front. So
it wouldn't surprise me if all the teams at the bottom won this weekend, and that would mean bottom of the league would be on 18 points.
It's crazy.
And would have won 9 games, and there's still 4 to go.
Any other season, that's like 10 points above relegation.
I think now 16. I think the 16 points that they've all got now. I think if you'd offered Hull KR 16 points at the start of the season, they might have been very tempted. That'll probably be enough.
London might only get 8.
They definitely would have taken it at this stage of the season.
It's crazy. But yeah, so I'm sure we'll have that discussion another day. But yeah, it's certainly something close to my heart. I think all 6 games should be on. We should have a Super League weekend like they do in the NRL. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please let us know what you think about your predictions. As always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.